All right. Can you hear my microphone now? We got 3D is cool. Just type 3D is cool in the Twitch chat, guys. First person to type it wins hard ops for Blender. 3D is cool. 3D is cool. First person to type it wins hard ops for Blender. Okay. The first person to type 3D is cool in the chat wins hard ops plugin for Blender. All right, we don't have anybody who wants the application here. All right, we'll save it for next week then. All right, cool. So as you can see, we baked the cake, sculpted the cake, and we rendered it out of ZBrush. And yeah, we did some effects on it. Oops. And so we took this cake, and you could see what we got from that. We went ahead and we turned it into that. So pretty cool, pretty awesome work. Um, so now let's see what we're gonna do here. All right, so let's move on to something else here. Let me just close all this stuff out. You guys have any requests? Anything you want to see? All right, so I'm just saving this out. We'll save out our cake that we created. Save as. All right, let's close this out. We went over trying to make the letter G uh, in 3ds Max, and you know how we would have to connect the edges just so it looks nice. But I'm not going to connect all of these. But we did discuss, what happens when you smooth out, when you have supporting edges here, as opposed to here. If you don't have those supporting edges, it's going to collapse in itself. So you definitely want to have that. All right, so what I wanted to show you guys is basically what I do to get reference when I work. I think reference is pretty cool. We have a winner, guys. The creator has won hard ops for Blender. Awesome! Congratulations. Let me send you that secret link so you can have that awesome plugin. 1 second. The creator, you should definitely get Blender. It's free and it is cool. You can get Blender for free through Steam, or you can download it from the official website. You don't have to though. I will send you a link on that. Please let me know if you get the I just sent you a message. Let me know if you get it. Yes, Blender is free. Um, and I would recommend that you definitely get Blender. Now, I'm going to send you a link. I'll send a link in the chat so you can get Blender. Yeah, you can click that link in the chat there to get Blender, um, which is builder.blender.org/download. And you can download right here 64-bit. I'm pretty sure you probably have 64-bit. Yeah. Now these downloads are these builds aren't stable as releases, but I always recommend getting the build ones because they're usually good to run with. And the great thing about Blender too is you don't have to install it. You can just run it from a folder. So if you want to zip it up and take it with you somewhere else, you can do that, which is pretty awesome. The creator, did you get the message I sent you? I sent you the message with the thing here. Let me know if you get it. If not, I'll send it. If you message me on here like Tyrone did, you'll be able to get it. So that's fine. All right, cool. So we're gonna work on something here. There's a new Dark Souls coming out. So let's see what we can work on here. So I wanted to teach you guys how to get reference. Usually, getting reference is one thing. Organizing it is another. Now, there's a free program called PureRef, which is I use. I'm going to get you guys the link of that to that right now, and it's great for things like this. So I will give you guys. Actually, you go to pureref.com. I'm going to type it in the chat for you guys though. Oops, wrong link there. 1 second, guys. Here, click this link in the chat. The creator, send me a message. Send me a message so I can on this so I can send you a message back if you didn't get mine. I don't want to upgrade right now. I think I'm in full screen or something. Yeah, I'm in full screen, I think. Minimize. Well, minimize makes it too small. All right, so this is pretty cool. Oh, okay. Yeah, I got your message, man. Hold on 1 second. I'll get you the link. Yep, I got your message, man. 1 second. All right, I just sent you the link for that. So yeah, man, I'm kind of excited for Dark Souls to come out. So I think maybe we'll try to sculpt something. Ooh, that looks kind of cool. So basically, at this point, when you're looking for something to work on, obviously Google is your best friend. And with this program here, I'll teach you guys how to use it. If you right click, you can move the canvas around for this. You could resize it like this with the left click, and that's about it. So anyway, what's awesome about this is usually you could just grab something and just drag it in here. And there we go. We have our reference in there. I could zoom in and zoom out with the mouse wheel. I could move the stuff inside. If I hold Alt, I can move what my reference inside of this. All right. So, oh wow, that's a pretty big image. We could actually make all the images the same size once we grab them and bring them in as well, if we wanted to. Oh, that's kind of small. Okay, that's fine. Actually, I think the other one's big. Oh, this looks cool. I like that. I like that a lot. Um, Also, you know, so all I'm doing is just dragging this in. As you can see, I'm just looking for stuff and dragging it in. Dark Souls 3 armor. Let's try that maybe. Ooh, there's some nice eye candy for you. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like some of these images you probably won't even use. I think it's good to focus maybe on like 10, maybe 10 images. I wouldn't do too many, you know. But besides these kind, you want to get actual pictures of armor and stuff too, because it's going to make your work even better. So if I right click, if I select everything by just marquee selecting and then I right click, I could choose let's see, be the best option here. Normalize by height. Yeah. Okay, so normalize by height is pretty good. These things are on top of each other. Let me see. Oops, that optimizes your canvas. And you could save these all too. So you can have like a reference sheet for next time when you're working, So there we go. So I right click, I selected all these, I right clicked it and I chose, where is it? It is images arrange optimal, which is Control P. And look at that. It just does this all for me. So we got a reference. I could zoom in on something and be like, all right, I want to see how this is looking here. You know, can go here and look at that. I could also just double click to get into one of my reference shots. Okay. So pretty awesome stuff. This one picture's kind of messed up, right? Oh, this is cool. I like this shot. Now I can just bring in a new image and we'll do the same thing. When you bring a new image, you can just go normalize and go normalize by height. Control Alt left is the keyboard shortcut. And then we could take this and go to images, arrange, and choose optimal. Boom. So there we go. All right, so we got those images, which is great. Next thing we want to do is I usually go on Pinterest and I grab armor and stuff. So we can do medieval armor. Oops. You might want to spell armor correctly too, so you can actually get something that you could work with. Let's do knight's armor. Probably be the best thing to do. And we're gonna get some good pictures here. We're not interested really in these in stuff people created already. We're interested in realistic armor from photography for a reference because we want to create the image. So I like this. This looks cool. Um, cool. This could be something. Oops. Sometimes that happens. You see, it didn't. There it goes. It's good now. Okay. Sometimes it grabs the other thing. This is good for, you can see how the lighting is and how the texture is. Come in handy. Oh, yeah. Um, so yeah, this is pretty much how I find my armor, or anything for that matter, really. I usually use Pinterest and Google for the most part, and that'll pretty much get you what you want. This kind of looks more of the Dark Souls kind of feel to it. Has that look, especially with this image here. If you look at it, they're pretty close. Yep, pretty close, just without all the crazy design. So yeah, if you don't have Pinterest, definitely get a Pinterest account. You can create your own free Pinterest account, and I've spent a lot of time, just organizing my stuff in the different folders and stuff. And I actually have one called Knighthood. So I'm gonna go into my Knighthood one because I've already kind of looked through. I spent hours looking through and picking stuff that I like more than others. And maybe I don't know, maybe I could find something from this and we could utilize it, or maybe not. Oops. Click the image first and then drag it in there. Okay. But I'm pretty sure you guys get the idea by now. Definitely don't just start just doing stuff. Like, have an idea before you start doing 3D. Yeah, Blender's a good program, and I'm going to show you how to use that plugin next week, the one you won, and we'll take a look at Blender. We'll make a mech. We'll make like a mech, and we'll bring it in ZBrush, and we'll clean it up and stuff. We'll make it look really cool. Um, so I can select a handful of these images here, and what I can do is I can just do height, and then do that images arrange by optimal. There we go. All right, so we got some stuff to work on. Oops. Also, if you press spacebar, you click something and press spacebar, you can zoom in and zoom out. Spacebar, spacebar, okay? Spacebar. So this is like, to me, this is like the best you can use. To me, at least. And since he's going to be covered up, I mean, you could even you don't have to use you don't have to like sculpt everything. You don't have to sculpt a person. You could import like a head or something, or for a base mesh, and you could work on it if you wanted to. mm, Oops, hit the wrong button there. This is blurry, so I'm just gonna hit delete because can't really use it. Right now, I'm just kind of going through the reference I picked up and getting rid of some of them. We don't need two of these. This one is blurry and this one isn't, so let's delete this one, put this one here, and we'll put this here. I like this. I like this shot. It's pretty nice. All right, cool. We are getting somewhere here. And again, planning is everything when doing 3D. I can't stress that enough. All right, so let's get started, all right? Enough talking. Let's get down to it. I work on two monitors. I think you guys should do the same if you're working in 3D and stuff. Have one monitor for reference and the other monitor to work on. I think what I'll do is I'll put it here so you can see what I'm looking at when I'm sculpting and stuff. You can see where I'm going. And maybe I'll use. Maybe we'll do this armor. All right, so let's close this out and go back to ZBrush. Now I'm gonna make my ZBrush a little smaller so you guys can see what I'm doing here. Usually when I stream or I teach, I usually put it on both, but otherwise I'll have this full size on the other monitor, and I'll be going to town with this thing. But again, I mean, it's not hard to navigate. You hold Alt, you can pan around, double click, you can zoom in. So it's pretty cool. All right, so let's get started on this here. Um, Basically, the way that we start everything off is that mostly we just use a spear. For this, you could probably use a base mesh. If you want to, that's fine. It's entirely up to you. But I don't know. I'm not really going to do that right now. I'm just going to just start going and working on this, you know. So right now I'm just using a move brush. And I'm trying to sculpt fast. It's all about just getting the volumes and the forms. Um, you might want to take off perspective when you're beginning. And at this point, we're just kind of just pulling things out. My mesh is really heavy, so I can't smooth the way I want to. I'll try to do the weighted smooth that I showed you guys earlier and see if that works. And that works a little better for me. Makes it a little smoother. But this mesh is way too heavy, you know, so I'm gonna have to like go down a lot. And that's the thing, when you first start in ZBrush, you know, you're gonna find yourself at a point where you're like, oh, okay, man, I can't work with this. It's too much geometry. And when you start early, you want to take it down, smooth it out, and just keep working on it. So I'm at subdivision level 1. As you can see, we're going to start working on this again. And now we can pull this out a little bit better now. I want to take the smooth stronger off because that's going to kill everything here. And we're going to take, actually take the RGB intensity off because we're not coloring anything in right now. And we could go up one level because that was like that was too little, you know, of a mesh to work with. So what we could do, I mean, you know, we can go up one level. That's fine. Oops. I feel like I don't really have my pressure sensitivity feels like it's not working on this thing. But it's okay, I guess. I'm Batman. Not. Other thing is too, like, if you feel like you can't make your brush bigger, what you can do is you can do something called unify. All right. So if I go deformation and I click unify, it's going to make it smaller. And now my brush is super huge. So now I could zoom in this, and you know, I could start. If you hit P, you go in perspective away. I could start pulling this the way kind of like I wanted to. You know, I wanted kind of to pull it like that a little bit, but oops, I keep hitting that P button on it. Don't ask me why, but I keep on hitting that P button. All right, moving along here. And when you first start, it's not going to look anything like what you want it to look like. It's going to take a lot of work to fine tune it to get it to where you want it to be. Right now, move brush and smooth, move brush and smooth. That's all I'm really using here is just move brush and this move brush. Because you really don't need anything else right now. Give this guy a cheek or something if you want. Oh yeah, there he is. He's ready. He's the darker version of Dark Souls. No, this is just our base. Just our base, guys. That's all it is. Just our base. It's all about that base. Oh, Hunchback of Notre Dame. We're making like torso area for now. It's usually good to listen to music when you work, and I feel like I don't know, really just kind of get you in the mood. Personally, you could use, you can listen to music when you work if you want, but I would highly recommend that you do, because it helps you get lost in your work, when you're working. It really helps you out. Brainiac. Like Alien versus Predator going on here or something. So basically, we just make like the rough shape of what we're trying to do. Probably taking a little too long on this, but whatever. I don't think we'll have time to do like a full body or anything. So we will try to work with this and see what happens. Again, he's all covered anyway. So this is just like my base. Because he's covered up. So what we'll do, I think, is we'll start with the head, and we will go to geometry, and we will append, oops, not geometry. We will go to subtool, and we'll append, if it lets me, a spear. Take that spear and bring it around here, make it smaller. And I just want to look at, I want to put these kind of together so I can see, Oh yeah, you can put these on top of each other too. Pretty cool. This is kind of like the shape of a head, obviously, which is cool, and it's pretty much the same. I mean, there's some extra parts on top of it, but it's they pretty much made it the same way as they based it off, existing stuff. Existing stuff. I'm just moving these guys up so I can see them a little easier without having to go all crazy on the screen every 5 seconds. The guy's saying my mic cut out. No, it's still recording audio. It's good, man. It should still be recording. All right, 1 second. Yeah, it might have been in your end because it looks like everything's good with the audio. I was just checking it, but it seems fine. But I hope you can hear me. If you can't hear me, definitely let me know in the chat if anybody can't hear me. It's kind of pointless if you can't hear me. I want to look at a front view if I can of this. See, if we look at this, we can kind of see what's going on, and obviously it's not like that. So now, is it small enough? We're going to press X to turn on symmetry, and try to push this around a little bit and see. And then what we do is you basically just shape it on top. Okay, cool. Sounds like a plan, creator. It's all good. I definitely want you guys to be able to do your own thing. That's what it's all about. Oops. It's going to be a lot of back and forth, And even if I do something, I might change it still, I might still change it like it's still not working, So all right, let's just push this down a little bit maybe, and so yeah, you can make sculpt and then use that sculpt as a reference while you make another sculpt on top of it. You can bring in images as reference. We can bring images in the scene if we wanted to, and we could start working that way. So we have a lot of different options that we're able to use to our advantage. And at this stage, it's just a block in. So you could be loose. You don't have to. There's nothing set in stone. You make a mistake, you make a mistake. But you can definitely be loose at this stage. I'm flipping this around and I'm trying to get more of what he had going on here. All right, so what I could start doing is I could start adding cuts and stuff. But I'm just trying to see. Let's see how Mr. Dark Souls looks real quick. Okay. Yeah, so he's completely covered, you know, with armor and stuff. And maybe it might be good to do this as one piece at first and then break it up later. So I might add in this jaw part and then tweak it afterwards. Let's see. You can use the Damien standard to kind of just block things out and see, you know, what's working and not working. And this is kind of just a rough blackout. It's not the final. We could just block it out like this, and then we could start move. You know, we could start move it around. We take the move brush and kind of just like, all right, I think it's over here, and I think maybe this piece goes here. Well, this is actually kind of thick here, and this piece goes all the way down, comes down like that. And we can kind of base this piece off of another piece, you know. So, I mean, we can make a mask here now if we wanted to, and we can extract the mask. So, I'll show you guys what we do. So, I'm holding control, and I'm just drawing with my tablet. I'm filling in a mask, you know, for his helmet area. Okay. So, we'll fill in a mask like that. Kind of looks like race car right now. That'll probably change later. And then what we can do is we can extract the mask. So I'll go to subtool, I'll go to extract. I'll turn this up a little bit, the thickness, and I'll press extract. And that's looking good, but I also see that we're probably gonna have to cut this because it, you know what? Let's see if we can work with this. We could always cut afterwards because we're gonna have to cut and fix it afterwards anyway. So let's try to work with this. And the way we work with these things is that we use that clip curve that I showed you guys earlier. I'm going to click it. It says you got to hold Control and Shift to use it. And clip curve again is press B, then press C, and clip curve is right here. All right. I have mine docked as a hotkey, so I can work a little faster. Oops. And you know what? It's actually not, I don't think it's clip curve we want. Or maybe we do want it, but we're on the wrong layer. So what it's doing is it's actually cutting into the other part, which I did want to cut into it, but just not yet. But we could cut into it now if we wanted to. Just start to get that kind of lip going on that he has right here, and but it's not exactly what I want to do. All right, so when you first get this in, I mean, you know, you're gonna have to fix this up. So I would recommend to Dynamesh it first, because when you look at the extract geometry, that looks horrible on the side there. You could see it just lines there, and there's more geometry up here. It's a big mess. So we'll just hit it with some Dynamesh. That'll kind of clean things up. And I think I'll turn on polish and try to hit it a little bit with Dynamesh and see if that works. A little better. Smooth out. It's going to keep the edges a little better now, you know. We smooth it out a little bit. It's fine. Now I'm not using the right brush that I wanted to use. There's another clip brush that I wanted to use. So I'm going to press C. And I think the brush that I wanted to use wasn't that. I think it was... Maybe it was clip curve. I don't know. Let's go here. Oh, or is it slice curve? Could be slice curve. Yeah, you know what? It was slice curve. Sorry, guys. Slice curve was the brush that I was trying to use. And I don't think it's working. 1 second. Oh, you know what? It's slicing the geometry, which is what I don't want. Hold on 1 second. I think it's slice curve. Slice curve. It's not slice curve. Clip curve. Maybe it was clip curve. So weird that it's not working for me. It was just working not too long ago. There's a couple different ones you can use though. Maybe it's trim curve. I think it's trim curve. There we go. Trim curve, I guess it is then. Okay. And now what we can start do is, if you press Alt, double click it, it'll make an angle for you. All right. And then if you go like, if you go left and right. Now I'm using the pen, and I'm just going back and forth. I haven't let the pen off the surface. Then let go, and it makes a cut. All right. So that's kind of like how this brush works. And the feather side has to be away from you. Okay. So let's see here. You could turn it on an angle too and try to work with it too. I could hit spacebar and move it over. Maybe I'll move it here. Press Alt. Press Alt. Oops. Let go of Shift. If you hold Shift, it kind of constrains it. Let go of Shift, but keep Control held. And you could do something like this. Double click. 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 And okay, it did not work. Might have not have been on the edge enough for it to work, maybe. Okay, I'm not sure why it's not working. Works there. Too much. I think it's too much of an angle for it to handle. So we'll just do one of those. But yeah, I guess we'll do that. I'm just trying to clean up the mesh. Can't even say it. And I'll fix it later. It's a little better. Alright, so we're going to use H polish. Turn on symmetry. Use H polish and smooth this out here. And I turn on symmetry by pressing X. H polish again is in the brush. All these are brushes that you see here are they're right there. Now in order for this to we're gonna have to pinch this up a little bit. So if I use the pinch brush, we can start pinching this stuff down a little bit. And he has like this lip thing going on where it kind of like pulls out. So I think if we kind of do that from the top, maybe we'll be able to get that. Smooth that out. Let's see. Just pull these up. It's really it's a lot subtle, you know. It's one of those things. We'll pull this down a little bit, maybe. Now, I'm going to use something called AccuCurve, and AccuCurve is great. Now, AccuCurve can be found in... Give me a second, I'll find it for you guys. I have everything set to keyboard shortcuts so I can work fast, but AccuCurve is found under Curve. If you turn on AccuCurve and you use the move brush, you can get these cool points. Okay? So... it's good for hard surface. AccuCurve is your best friend when it comes to hard surface, just so you know. Well, that looked horrible. So as you can see, we got to do some work here because let me turn on this. I'll turn off this AccuCurve, and what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to pull this out. So what I do is I kind of just pull back and forth, so that I can get the shape that I want, which is that that circular shape that we got going on here. And when the shape is thin, it's kind of harder to do this, you know. The other thing we're going to do is we're just going to, I think we'll just push that in a little bit. Or maybe we'll keep it. I don't know. We'll just keep it like this for now, because we still have to lay in the other pieces and make sure that like they're coming in properly. Um, I'm gonna pull this down a little bit, and I press Alt again to go to the other tool, the other subtool. Go underneath there and just push that like that. There's more of a lip, so we'll push that back a little bit so we get that corner piece kind of going on there, that they got going on in this awesome artwork here. Yeah, he's gonna have armor and shit on, so he'll be fine. So yeah, we can delete, we can erase like what we had there for our guides or whatever once we get a piece out. And to create the other piece, well, actually, I don't like this piece yet. Now, this probably it'd be easier like if we were in 3ds Max to make these kind of pieces. I'm just trying to see what I'm pulling here. You know, it'd probably be easier to make this armor in 3ds Max, maybe, to be, work to work a little faster. But I wanted to show you that you could do it in this. In production, they probably would have you work that way. Pretty sure they'd probably have you go and they would have you go with 3ds Max to do this, or Maya or Blender. All right, so we try to get that shape going on there. Hey, what's up, Storm Shadow? How you doing? And guys, if you ever like a request um for something for next week, let me know, and we'll see what we can do. If there's something that you wanted to create, I was creating a robot next week, so. But if you have any robots that you want to create, let me know, and we'll see what we can do to make it happen. Sup? Cool, man. Been streaming since 9 a.m. Um, so how many hours is that? I don't even know. 10, 11, 12, 1, 2. So I'm like at 6 hours now. We're doing something called a double feature today. Something cute. Maybe a cute robot? What do you think? I'm not partial, so I'm actually going to add more on here. It's like Shredder, kind of. Reminds me of, at least. Kind of draw that on there and pull that piece off. All right, next week, cute robot it is. For 20-hour stream. 20 hours. Subtool. All right, so we drew a mask again, as we tend to do, and we're going to do another extraction. And of course, that's going to be way too much to work with. So we'll try to dial that down a little bit. That's good. Clear your mask, because it always puts a mask on there. And go to your new layer, clear that mask, because he likes to put a mask on that too. And you could start working on this now. Smooth, smooth, smooth. Oops. And you know what? I forgot to tell you is it takes off symmetry. So after you do an extract, it'll take your symmetry off. Press X to turn it back on. I don't know why it does that, but it does do that. I'm sure there's a logical reason for it. Just don't know what it is. It's like way too much. All right, so our point thing is too big. So we're going to have to cut that down a little bit. And that cut that part too, which we didn't want to do. So let's try this. Okay. It's a subtle kind of thing, you know, with the point. And we're going to have to inflat it, which means like bump it up on the surface. So we can kind of mimic that look that's going on. This is an awesome game, by the way, guys. If you never played any Dark Souls or Demon Souls, I mean, me personally, like I have all of them, but I still even play Demon Souls, and I'll be honest, I haven't beat it, but I still play it, and there's so much hours of gameplay in that game. Like that game alone, if you have a PS3 in that game alone, let's just say, you'll be busy for hours. So yeah, if you never played it, get it. It's fun. Oops, I don't want to do it that way, but I could do it that way. I'll show you guys what happens if you do it that way. I'm going to go to solo mode and show you this here. So if you do it that way, which you can, You can just click to hide these pieces. Control click to hide what you don't want. Okay, and now what we'll do is we'll hit this with a Dynamesh, and it should close the holes for us. There you go. Oh, you know what? It brought it back. 1 second. So actually, when you hide it, you're gonna have to delete hidden first. Now we're gonna try to Dynamesh it. All right, and then we got it. We got that piece in there. Want to maybe bump up the resolution a little bit. So just bring the res slide up a little bit. Put a hit polish to polish it up a little bit. And yeah, I guess that's good. We can start using our flatten brushes to kind of, flatten out the surface and got a lot of different brushes that we can use. So this part's not really even going to be seen, so we don't really need to worry about it too much. Oops. Go to the move tool. This way it's a little bit more hidden. Now, this part here, is a little tricky. And I might try to cut it one time. Now we lost our edges, as you can see, but we can always get them back afterwards. So with this, if you look at his helmet, it kind of dips in. So we kind of just pull a piece out and then dip it in to get that kind of look that they got going on there. I'm gonna go up a little bit in resolution, and we can H polish this. H polish is a great brush to polish up the surface. And we can just go over the surface like this. Just a little bit. Oops. And I'm just kind of recreating my edges here. Pull that in a little bit so it's not out in the middle of nowhere. Get that on the angle there, and start build out your edge. Just turn it around a little bit. Give it a nice edge. You could do the same for this. We can hit it with some H polish a little bit. And let's hit it like right there, because it feels like it kind of goes in where it's a little bit right there. If you didn't notice, this brush is amazing. The H polish is your friend. Use him all the time. Or your money back guarantee. Alright. So yeah, these are kind of like the cleanup brushes in ZBrush. And like I said, there's a lot of back and forth. Let me see what kind of resolution we're. We barely have any resolution. We could press Control D to go up one, and we can start going over this a little bit. And might hit with a pinch too. See if that does anything good for me. Doesn't look like it does. What I want to do is, actually, you know what? I'm gonna leave it for now. We're not gonna see all that thickness in the end because in the end there isn't that much thickness. At least not that much. I'm going to use insert spear. I'm going to hit B for brush and I for inserts. I'm going to choose insert spear, and I'm going to insert this spear on a duplicate layer of this. So I'm going to hit duplicate, and on this one I'm going to actually delete the geometry. And now I'm going to drag this out where I want it, and we are going to push that in a little bit. And I don't need the mask part. I just need that circle. So we'll Control Shift click, and the area that we need will stay visible. As you can see, the area that we don't need will disappear. Then we're going to go to geometry and we're going to choose delete hidden. All right, cool. So that's gone. And we're starting to get it somewhere, We can move that now if we wanted to, but I'll keep that where it is for now. And this part, it's, like I said, a lot of tweaking, a lot of back and forth, experimentations, I'm gonna make these separate pieces because it'll make it look better, make it look more realistic. Going over this piece. Let's try to hit it with some H polish and see if that kind of solves our problems. Kind of does. Okay, so now let's get the helmet part, that top part going on there. So actually, sorry guys, I want to fix this a little bit. All right, let's leave that like that for now. All right, let's work on this armor part. So I think what we can do is we can bring in append a spear and try to shape that to the head. Or I think this is by itself, right? Oh, this is a small. This is that spear. Okay. Append. So we'll choose append and spear. Spears. Spears are fun. All right, and we got to make it smaller. And honestly, I think the best way oh, you know what? I don't know what it's pulling, but it's not the right thing. Control Z, Control Z. Wrong layer. Make sure you select the right layer, and size it down. You could actually use your move brush really big just to kind of move something into place if you wanted to too. But that didn't work too good for me. Okay, that worked. That one worked. That worked a little bit. Now we have to get this thing called armor looking correctly. Get the helmet looking right. And again, it's hard, you know, sometimes you got to wait till you bring in all the pieces and, you know, see what works and what doesn't work. And this is that part where I could actually fix the width here of this, and we'll pull this out a little bit. Oops. We're losing the losing that a little bit. Okay. I want to get rid of this thing here. This is kind of like the old head. The head's not even going to be showing though. This part's going to be showing. So that's all that really matters. Getting this to look right is all that matters. A lot of fine tweaking, you know. Okay, that looks a little better. So now, oops, I just pushed that in a little bit. Well, I guess what I got to consider is, does this need to be pushed in or does this part need to be pushed out, right? So I'm thinking that this part needs to be pushed out maybe. But you know what? Let me lay in everything else first, and then we can mess around, because it's all about the relationship, you know, the pieces to each other. You know, are they working together? Are they not working together? Because I mean, I could go back and forth all day with this thing. Let's see here. What is this piece? Oh, I think this was his old. All right. Well, we'll probably redo this part anyway. I think, at least, we probably should, to do it justice. H polish. Just remember, you know, the more subtools you have, the more it's easier to work with, you know. Trying to make it look more metallic looking. Metallica looking. Alright, next piece. Let's move along. Or let me see this reference. Let's look at another shot of this one here. This has a piece going around it. Let me see this. Oh, here we go. Here's a nice view. See, multiple views are good to have. And this is a prime example why. Oh, good. Now I can keep them both on the screen. And again, it's good to have these on separate layers. So we can push and pull these and try to get them to look correct. Let's see here. All right. To do this middle piece, the best thing to do would be to take that alpha off. And I think if we hold control, yeah, and we drag, we can get that in place. Make sure you're on the right layer. You can pull this out. I'm just using a move brush to pull this out. And this kind of gets hidden behind another piece that he's going to have. And so maybe it's something like that. Now his head is a little too small, but it's okay. We're going to fix that in a second. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to Geometry and Dynamesh. And we're going to hit 128. Yep. We're going to try to pinch. I think we'll have more control if we do this as a separate thing. but I'm thinking, yeah, I think I'll do it as a separate piece. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make this a poly group. So I'm gonna choose mask polygroup polygroups, and polygroups is the way we can group things. And I'm gonna say group masked. So whatever's masked gets grouped, and whatever's not masked doesn't get grouped. There we go. We got that there. And we're going to split. We're going to choose split hidden. We don't want to delete it. We want to split it. So go to split in your subtool palette and choose split hidden. Now it's its own thing, but if we look at it, it doesn't look too good. So we'll have to fix that. So to fix that, we're going to go. Let's try Dynamesh it and see if that fixes it. Mask must be cleared to Dynamesh. Alright, so there was a mask on this. Alright, so that's not what we want, right? Oops. I hit the wrong button. You press up and down arrows when you're in the solo mode. It's going to switch to your different subtools. So I hit Control Z on that because that's not what we wanted. And I'm going to save this real quick so I don't lose what I've been working on. Now, I think if I do close holes, let's see what that does. So we're going to go to geometry. The Dynamesh was filling in the middle, which I don't want. So I'm going to try to go. I mean, I guess we could keep it that way now that I think about it. But let's try close holes and see if that does anything for us. It pretty much does the same thing. So let's just Dynamesh it then. Okay, Dynamesh was the solution to that problem. All right, now it's separate. Now we have more freedom. We can move it wherever we want. So you know these are things you got to think about when you're working and designing and doing stuff. You know. Let's see something here. I think it's going to be a little tricky to get that shape that we want, but let's try to H polish. H polish is giving me that little bit of that edge that we wanted to see. Okay. Ooh. Now if we go back to our mesh, you could see what happened. It left a hole in there. So we're going to try to Dynamesh that hole and clear your mask first, click Dynamesh. Yep, it's not going to work. Oops. One second. So I think for this, to fix this, we could probably just push it into each other, maybe. So we'll just push it in. And then we'll pull this out. We don't want to lose our roundness. I'm gonna fix that there. And you can see right here what's going on. See that? So we're going to try to cover that up manually. Just like that. Smooth it out a little bit. Alright, that's a little better. Now, the issue is that the helmet is way too small. Well, let's hide the body too, because I really need to look at the body right now. We can just focus in on this here. But yeah, I feel like the head's too small. It needs to be bigger on the sides. So before we even do that, let's just save our work. Alright, let's see here. I think it's getting there. So what I want to do now that we saved it is I want to modify everything together. So what we can do is we can go to Z plugin and we can go to transpose master under Z plugin and we're going to click T-pose mesh. Okay. Now when you T-pose a mesh, it makes it one thing and it gives you like a low poly version. It looks like they're all like kind of together. Also press X to put back on your symmetry. But they're really not, they're not really together. They are right now, but when you go back, they're going to be on your, they're going to be different layers again, like you had them before. It's just like that right now. Okay. And you know, I'm actually feel like I'm pulling too much. Trying to get a nice circle going on there. But yeah, it kind of, it's starting to look a little better. Let me see. I think we got to pull this down a little bit. And I'm just trying to figure it out right now. Just do it like that. Looks a little better, I think. See how it looks from behind. Okay. Let's let it stay like that. And now we will go back to that menu we were just at. We'll go Z plugin, transpose master, and we will T-pose mesh. And what this is going to do, you're going to see it's going to go, you know, but what it does is it transfers over the change we just made, and it retains the different layers that we had. So definitely super helpful to use. Super, super helpful. All right, I got something going on here, and I'm trying to figure out what it is. Is it this? Yeah. I think I have two of these. Yeah, I do. I don't know how I have two of these, but somehow I do. Somehow I do. Okay. Weird. It made two somehow. It's ZBrush for you, I guess. Um, all right, so I kind of feel in the head a little bit. Next we want to pinch. Well, let me see. Is it pinch that we want to do? Let's see. Pinch is a very destructive brush, by the way, guys. So if you use pinch, use it wisely. I think what I want to do is use Alt and Damien Standard to get that cut in there. Now this is a good angle right here because I could actually see what's going on here. And now looking at this, I can see that this could actually pass for one whole piece, maybe. But not exactly. It kind of fits in there. I see what's going on here. So what we can try to do is try to build that up. Let's see if we can get that going on. I'm holding Alt and I'm just going over this. And try to pull this up on the surface here. Hmm. If it starts falling down there, just pick your mesh up, you know. You don't want it to fall down. So there's a point where it just kind of stops going over the thing, that piece there, which I'm trying to get. So we're at the point where we're starting to get these cool shapes in here, and we have to figure out the cuts. I think we're still too low yet. I think to even do the cuts, maybe. Yeah, how can anybody can see in that thing? I don't know. I'm trying to fix up the surface again. Get a clean. We have to get a nice lip going on here now too, because now we're actually going to see this part when before we weren't going to see it. So you could see what having multiple angles of reference can do for you. It can. I couldn't see all this information before. So, it's good that we have this now. It's good that we caught this now than later down the line. Because you're going to get to a point where you're going to get really far and you're going to be like, yeah, I'm too far to even do that now. I'll probably redo this helmet maybe. Well, we can keep this piece at least. And, it's all about using the right tool for the job. Trying to make these, make this a little cleaner. We're on like skin shade or something. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna click and we're gonna change from skin shade to something else, you know. It's too much metal. Maybe yeah, that's good. It's not too distracting, you know. What I'll probably do is start filling this in, fill object with material. All right. Oops. About to save a brush here. It's too much of a shine. Too much of a shine on that thing there. Yeah, it's way too much. Let's see here. Subtool. A quick way to fill your objects is go to Subtool Master and click Fill, and we'll just choose Material. That'll make everything the same. material. Make that a little smaller and look at that. All right, so we're starting to get something going on here. Um, we still don't have that. This part needs to come out more. This part needs to come out more. So we're gonna figure out how to do that right now. And I'm gonna mask this off because I don't want to pull the lip work that I just did on this thing here. Oops. Yeah, I think that's something I'm gonna have to just mess around with to fix. Let's do it from this view maybe. See a side view. All right, let's see here. Just fixing some areas up here. Let's give this guy a neck. I think, let me bring back the other thing. Kind of has like a scarf around him too, which is cool. But let me bring back. Man, it's so cold in my house. All right. Oops. Use that as a guide. I think what we need is to bring in a body of a person real quick so we can use it as a base while we work. Since we're starting to get some stuff that we like going on here. Now, let me see. We'll just save this here. Try to see if I can import a body. See, I don't remember off the top of my head, but I know I had some kind of I had some assets before. However, I don't think I still have them. Or I do have them, but I'm not sure where they are. Oh, you know what? Maybe I do have it. Let's see. This one actually should work for me. Let me try bringing it in. All right, so I got this base mesh from online, from Polycount. And, I'm just using it to size things up here. Go deformation and scale this up here. And let's try to move this into place. All right, that's working, I think. Yeah, this is good. This is good for me. So I can try to size this up. Oops. You know what? This alpha is like 50. But this is how it really is supposed to look. Yeah. Probably even pull this out a little bit more. So let's save this real quick. And we'll go to, let's see. Can't find my Dark Souls folder. Okay, here we go. I gotta leave out in 5 minutes, guys. Unfortunately, I might try to, if I can, I might try to stream again. I don't know if I can, but if I can, I'm gonna try to stream again tomorrow. I'm gonna try. That's the key word. And trying to see if maybe I should. Um, no, I think it's good. I think I just need to make that point a little bit more. So I'm going to hide this for now. And I'm going to go back to Z plugin, transpose master, T-pose mesh. Okay. Now we can pull these together. Feeling it a little bit more. Let's go back. T-pose sub T. Gotta get that other piece going on. Looks like that other piece wraps around. I don't even know how the piece because it's not. Oops. I need to be able to see that angle. He doesn't even have that piece. I think the piece wraps all the way around, if I'm not mistaken. Could be wrong. But we will try. I have to add the eyes in there. That's for sure. Looks like the eyes go about right here, I think. Maybe they go right there. Let me zoom in and look. Mine's are way too high up. Okay, so let's try. Probably like right around here. I'm gonna try to extract pieces from this. Oh, that is a mess. But okay. No, it is a mess. I rest my case. See if we can cut some of this mess out. Oops. Can't use that with symmetry on. Doesn't work. This brush doesn't work with symmetry on, guys. Might be better just to redo it, but we're gonna try something. I don't know if I want to do it like that. Maybe not. Maybe I want to make a mask and then just push it down a little bit. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do it the other way. I was gonna do it like this, but I'm gonna delete this. I'm gonna do it the other way. Let's try freehand it. I think we need to go a little higher. Let's try it now. So I just went higher in subdivision level because I wasn't able to get this going on the way I wanted it to. Just holding Control and Alt to take away from the mask. Well, this is way too small. Okay. What was I thinking? Alright, let's make this bigger. Let's try that. I'm going to go to deformation and I'm going to push inwards with the in flat. I don't know if I'm liking that though. Let's do control click to make the mask a little bit brighter. And if not, I don't know. I'm gonna try to stream during the week, but definitely Saturday. You could always count on me on a Saturday. So enjoy the rest of your weekend, and thanks for watching. Have a great day, guys. Take it easy.